Hello and welcome to UFC patch spoilers with me, Mr. Humble Dink. Today we're going to be looking at some UFC patch spoilers from the actual Discord of UFC. If you don't know how to get to this, I'll leave a link in the description. You can go there, you can go into the patch spoilers, helping you guys find out whenever the news gets dropped. You can get the notifications on your phone. Now, I've not read any of these, so I'm going to read them out and you're going to get kind of my live reaction to what I believe they are, and also like how I think they're going to be implemented in the game. So the first one, so it seems to be a message from Skynet UFC, who drops patch spoilers if you don't know. It says, I bet you wondered if I was ever coming back. Maybe if you ever wondered if I pulled a Jeff and yeeted myself out of here. You might even be wondering if I'm actually going to drop some spoilers right now. Well, worry no more, I guess. There are some indeed patch spoilers coming here. Some heads up on what's going on in 4.07. Nice, so we're getting some spoilers in the next bit. So, increased penalty for attacks rapid movement in limb submissions. Increased penalty for the attacker's rapid movement. Okay, so the attacker, the person going for the submission, is going to get an increased penalty now for going for the limb submissions. I believe that means. To clear up some confusion here, this is to address the exploit that some people started using with modded controllers. Sadly, sometimes the worst of us ruin things for all of us. Oh, I don't know who's to refer to. That being said, most people won't notice difference here, as general player doesn't move the sticks as fast as it's necessarily to see nerf effects. Fair. So a lot of these submission artists that use modded controllers or who rely on these submissions are going to suffer from this patch. This is going to be very, very interesting because it's what kind of a lot of the people in the community wanted. So the next part is a two-part one, but we'll read it out loud. So, tune to stamina recovery to be slower when stamina is high. Alright, this is already confounding people, so he's a little more info. This is based largely on temp stamina, not max. The lower your temp is to a point, the faster it comes back. But the higher it is, the slower it comes back. This helps people not entirely be gassed, and also means you need to recovery a little longer. I'm guessing that means recover a little longer to actually get back to full. So if you throw a couple of combos then try and back up and get tagged, you'll be punished a bit more than before. Okay, that's much more in depth than what they need to do. The rates were based heavily on feedback and telemetry of stamina usage in fights. So far it seems like the positive change, but that's always the intention. Yeah, I get what they're saying there. So basically, when you're damaged and when you're hurt, you're not going to be able to fire back, and if you do, it's going to be so much more devastating. This is going to change the dynamic of how people press forward and also cover up, and kind of, there's going to be a lot more. You need to get out of there when you're hurt. Really, you need to survive and then fire back. Unless you can catch your opponent with a combo or a counter, it's going to be dangerous. So that's a massive improvement. We'll see good fighters come through for this. Okay, so let's have a little look at the next bit. Allowed body side kicks to track walking to one side, the outside. Allowed body side kicks to track walking to one side, the outside. The outside. I mean the outside leg. Okay, so they'll follow you if you throw it. I hope there's less power on them, because you'd lose less power in real life if you threw a body kick and someone moved away from it. You'd lose less power. Anyway, decreased block breakdown. This means block will last longer, and you'll have to be a bit wiser with setups and follow-throughs to capitalise. It's not a massive buff, but it still counts. Okay, so decreased block breakdown. This means block will last a little longer. That's fantastic, because I hate block breaking. Does my head in. It's one of the worst parts of the game, and you'll have to be a bit wise with setups. Brilliant. I love feint setups and stuff like that. It's going to be fantastic. It's just going to add for a more. You're going to have to get clever. The Ed Parkers of the world are going to come through this one, because it's a chess match to them. A lot of other people just see it as a bull rush, and it's not. This is not what it should be about. It should be about the smartest player. I like that. I like that change. I like that change a lot. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy that one. Let's move to the next one. Fixed an issue where submissions were finishing before the progress bar completed. Yeah, I've had that happen to me. It was ridiculous. When chains were activated at a certain time, and yeah, there's some actual bug fixes in the patch too. It's not all tuning. Good. The bug fixes are some of the worst stuff I've ever seen on this game, so we need to fix a lot of these bugs, because it's killing the experience. Next one. Right, reduced recovery of resistance to head health between rounds, but there is in fact a ton of tuning based on community feedback. This one means less knockdowns before KO if a fighter manages to survive a round. Brilliant. So the amount of knockdowns you have now in a fight is going to impact your recovery rate, I believe, what that means. So if you get knocked down 6-7 times in one round, you go back, your recovery is going to be terrible because you've been knocked down. Whereas I guess if you take a bit of damage on the feet and you don't get knocked down, your head health is okay still, then you'll recover a bit better. I believe that's what that means. So they're trying to buff the knockdowns, which is getting ridiculous sometimes in this fight, to help probably with the block breaking mechanics they've kind of nerfed and things like that. So it sounds like a positive change. Obviously, like they said, everything they do is supposed to be positive, and sometimes it's not. Next one is decreased head roundhouse bleed through. Bleed through is the amount of damage heavy attacks do when blocked, regardless of the block breakdown. Alright, one more that you'll have to be asking for, then I'm going to go back to work for now. Alright, cool. So if we go back to the Skynet bit, he said this is a killer for me, because a lot of my head kicks, it's like a UFC 2 for me in this game, where you kick someone's head and you try and knock them out. Now, I don't agree with it because I like realism, and I argue realism in the game. The last head kick knockout that I can remember was Machida knocking out Mark Munoz through the guard. That's the last one I remember, and it was that long ago. It was like 6 years ago. So it is a positive step for them to do that. I hope that it still does a tiny bit of damage, because if you get kicked on that block and the guard, it at least breaks your block, or at least it does something. It'll affect you some way. It can also hurt your hands, so it should take your block down really. But again, we'll see. Attacker can now cancel their submissions pressing R1 and L1 together. And for anyone new to this shtick, the full patch notes come out when the patch goes live, and any new fighters, if any will be announced then. Okay, so he's talking about fighters being announced, will be announced when the patch notes go live. This is just me giving some community sneak peek into what's coming. Until the patch notes drop, there's always more. Right, that is super fucking crazy. So attackers can now cancel their submissions. I wonder what advantage you get from cancelling your submission. That's the key. What sort of advantage do you get for actually cancelling your submission? That's going to be the interesting part of that. Like, where can you go with that? Do you gain grappling advantage? Because people might change shit together. That's an interesting one. That's something all the submission artists will be looking at to kind of work on, or use to their advantage if they possibly can. Right, the next one. There's more. Fixed events and tournament mode, CAF scaling issues and mismatched ratings and AI types. Oh, so this is going to be huge for all of the leagues, all the CAF leagues, Aggro Fighting Championship, any CAF league that's out there that uses it, because there's a huge issue. You build a heavyweight and you put him at bantamweight, he's still massive. Like, the reach is different, the size feels different. It just doesn't feel like you're fighting with a bantamweight fighter. It feels like a middleweight at bantamweight. So this is going to be huge. Okay, actually this one too, because I'd already mentioned it a few times. This should fix myriad of issues in the event and tournament modes. To heck with it, I'm feeling generous and hungry. Likely a coincidence, probably because the McGregor and Dustin fight's about to happen. Here's some more. Right, before we move on, that's huge. All the CAF leagues need to pay attention to this one, because this is going to be a game changer for everybody. Okay, next one is lowered frequency with the AI intercepts takedowns with strikes. These are going to be for people who like Korean mode and stuff. It's not something I play, but if you do play Korean mode and stuff, this is going to be massively important for you. Added the ability for the AI to execute, I can never say this, Immunari rules, which is basically like Tony Ferguson's rule into a leg lock, I believe. Made plodding footwork stamina threshold more dynamic based on the footwork and leg health. This is an interesting one and helps make leg health more important in fights. Okay, so if you plod left and right and stuff like that when you avoid straight strikes, I'm guessing you're going to lose some more stamina and leg health. Okay, so depending if you've got more leg health, so I'm guessing you can't do that more if you've got bad leg health. Maybe that's what that is, and based on your footwork as well. That'll be an interesting one, especially for leg attackers, people who like to attack the leg. Pyroxis will like this one. This will be something you'll be looking at. Interesting. Something I'm looking at because I like to attack the legs as well. And Fabio, Sick War. Next one. Reduce number of leg health events, or reduce the number of leg health events before a TKO. Fun fact on this one that many people don't seem to realise: each leg has its own health. If you chop someone's leg and they go down 4 times but then switch stance, they're starting fresh. This is part of what led to some of the bloated knockdown numbers. We essentially dropped the knockdown requirements per leg, so the max kick, oh, this is going to be huge. This is going to be absolute. The leg kicking game is going to be huge. We essentially dropped the knockdown requirements per leg, so this max kick knockdowns in a fight should go down both. I don't know if this is a good decision or a bad decision, but it's going to help me out massively. More of those smart enough to switch up, but we'll still go down for a little for those who don't. Okay, but that just means that people are just going to batter the legs. Volkanovski in every fight now, just in case he. This is a big one. Like I said earlier on, Prioxis, me, Sickbot, there's a lot of people are going to be using this. I think this will need a lot of tuning. This is going to be an interesting one, but I think this is going to need a lot of tuning, just because legs don't get attacked, and now they're going to get attacked every night. Increase the effect of submission defense rating. Alright, so if you're Jose Aldo and you've got a 96 submission defense rating, I'm guessing that's more impactful and should be. I don't understand why that wasn't already in the game. Made special backwards leg lunge animations mitigate leg damage instead of increasing it. This is in reference to when the fighter kind of hops on their legs out of range but doesn't actually hop backwards. While most strikes would miss because of this, if they did happen to still hit, it would actually punish the user, now reducing the damage to the leg. Some more leg stuff. They're going for it, aren't they, with the leg stuff? That's some crazy patches. I don't know how everybody felt about that, but this is the last one we've got. I don't think we've got any more. It was an hour ago since he last posted, so I believe this is it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Share this with your friends. I think this is going to be crazy. It's going to change everything. Obviously there's still loads of stuff to come, but thank you so much for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and bye.